So a quick video to talk about how the fires in California is going to affect real estate in Idaho. Stick around, let's talk about it. Hey everybody, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. You know your great real estate agent by your side when it comes time to buy a home, sell a home, or relocate to the Treasure Valley. And if you're going to relocate to the Treasure Valley, those recent fires in Southern California might just be the thing that gets you out the door. But what does that mean to people in Idaho? Well, I came across some stories I just thought I'd touch on quickly, and then we're going to get to the meat and potatoes. We're going to talk about the effect on Idaho and real estate in Idaho from those fires. So let's get right into it. So first off, we have this statement here from the Idaho Office of Emergency Management advising Idahoans how they can help those affected by the Southern California fires. And why not? There's people in Idaho have very giving hearts. They still have friends and family that are affected by the fires, or they know somebody that is, and they're always the first in line to do something to help out. And the Office of Emergency Management is giving valid outlets for people to get involved to make a difference. Another thing that Idaho's done is they've sent firefighting teams down to Southern California to help with those wildfire efforts. And Channel 7 jumps in on that as well, saying that Idaho has sent over 100 firefighters to Southern California. And Channel 6 reports that there's a company here, Disaster Response, that is actually sending their crews down to Southern California to help people out with the rebuilding and things like that. And Channel 7's even reporting that there's a local company here in Idaho that is going to offer free housing to people that were impacted by the fires in Southern California. And the offer is for 7 days of free housing. So that's not forever, but it's certainly a start. And then here's a story that we're going to be touching on a little bit when we get down to those meat and potatoes. After the fires, the bidding wars and cutthroat demand take over LA's rental market. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Thousands of displaced people need to live somewhere. Trying to find a house right now is a full-time job. Yes, it's going to be very tight. And just to give you a kind of a snapshot difference between California and Idaho, our governor just came out today as I'm recording this. Not California. Governor Little updates Idahoans on protections against wildfires here in Idaho. So he updated Idahoans, that would be me, on the many ways Idaho is working to ensure our state does not experience tragic wildfire events like those raging in Southern California. So just a few of the things that he did say are that the Idaho Department of Insurance has introduced legislation this week to protect Idaho homeowners, address instability in the property insurance market, and ensure ratepayers, that's all Idahoans, are not strapped with higher bills after a fire event. I'm not sure, just tangentially here, that the Idaho Department of Insurance can introduce legislation. I thought that was legislators that did that, or lobbyists. I'm not sure. Moving on, Idaho is better managing fuels to reduce risk, especially in utility corridors, and grid resiliency grants are effectively protecting our energy infrastructure from wildfire. Well, that's pretty good. And finally, Idaho has improved interagency coordination, communication, and emergency response, particularly with the first responders to the fires, our ranchers and loggers. So you can see that Idaho is very proactive. Our representatives, our governor, the people in the different bureaucracies, they are more responsive to the regular people here in Idaho than obviously what's going on down there in Southern California. But let's get into what's going on in Southern California with the fires. How's it going to affect Idaho? Question: will a bunch of Southern Californians flood into Idaho? I have heard this question recently, and I thought, let's check it out. One, no. Liberals won't move here, and one report says that 80% of those that were affected by the fires are liberals. So don't expect a lot of liberals to finally change course in their mental thinking processes and move to Idaho. They don't like Idaho, they don't like conservatives, so they're not going to move here. And number two, no, there's going to be a lot of money to be made in the whole rebuilding effort down there. So if they can stay, they will stay, especially if they have some skills in the trades. Number three, no, if they had no insurance or were underinsured, They won't have any money and will probably stay right there in Southern California or as close as possible. Could be they could move out to Phoenix as well. A lot of non-conservative folks have already been moving from Southern California out to Phoenix, and conservatives from Phoenix have been moving right up here to the Treasure Valley. We've helped several of those, and I could see that could only intensify now. So will any Californians be moving to Idaho? Earlier we talked about those from the fire area, but will any of them? The answer is, well, yes. Those people across California who are fed up with the mismanagement of the state, and you have to admit that's happened, the fires may have just been the last straw. This might have been their wake-up call to go ahead and start getting out of California. So two, yes, people in Southern California who were burned out, if they had insurance or can sell their property to a speculator or to the government, they could move to Idaho and have a nice, safe property and a whole lot better quality of life. And three, yes, people in Southern California who were not burned out and can now make a good amount of money from selling or even renting out their places down there, they could be coming up here. There is, like we saw in that previous story, going to be a big increase as the demand for rentals goes up, and that means rent prices are going to go up. So they could turn their house there into a rental and probably live very easily up here. So what impact will those fires in Southern California have on Idaho? People in and near the fire areas will probably stay as close as possible for work, especially if they have any skills or any work that deals with supporting the rebuilding effort. And when I say they're going to stay as close as they can, they might have to still move out some. They might even move up to, say, Bakersfield or down towards San Diego or even to the east out into the desert. And from that demand, we see those little micro migrations going on. We may see conservative people in those areas cash out, turn their properties into rentals, and then move to Idaho. There's a lot of conservative people in Bakersfield. And expanding that a little bit further, conservatives in Phoenix will start moving to Idaho in greater numbers as more people, typically those who are not conservative, move to the Phoenix area from Southern California. Just continuing that trend, but probably with a little bit more impetus behind it. So what if you're thinking of selling your Idaho home? You're an Idahoan. Should I sell my home? So are you thinking that you should wait and see if a flood of Californians arrive with pockets of money and thus driving up home prices? That's probably not going to happen. For most houses, the typical houses in the, $300,000-$400,000 up to $700,000 range, I don't think that's going to happen. Although it could impact the higher end homes. We have seen lately a pretty darn strong market for homes that are over $1 million. And that could get stronger. Just as another tangential piece of information, for homes over $1 million, right now in Ada and Canyon County, essentially the Treasure Valley, we have 162 active. We have 86 pending. That means they're under contract with a buyer. And in the last 60 days, we have sold homes over $1 million, 157 of them. So we have a pretty strong market for that. I could see that going up a little bit. But for your regular house in the $300,000, $400,000, $700,000, $800,000 range, I don't really see a big impact coming. So let's break this down, the bottom line. So if you have a reason to sell your home right now, now is a good time to sell your home. If you have a reason to buy a home right now, guess what? Now is a good time to buy a home. If you have a reason to relocate to Idaho, and maybe the fires in Southern California and the things that led up to it and the fallout from that were just the last straw, the ineptitude of the leaders being on full display, then relocating to Idaho right now is a great time to relocate to Idaho. So the bottom line, in general, prices are not going to fall. I know that there are some people out there that worship for the second coming of the housing crash. I don't see it coming. Builders here are still building as fast as they can, and that extra inventory is what's going to help keep prices fairly stable. because we'll have more inventory, so prices aren't going to go up really crazy, but they are going to continue to inch up. And I know we all keep our eye on what's happening with interest rates, and news reports lately indicate that interest rates are not going to be coming down anytime soon. And why would they? Think about this. Trump has a huge mess to clean up, and the Federal Reserve only has one tool to combat record inflation, and that would be higher interest rates. So if you do still need to buy, sell, or relocate, right now is a good time to do that. And if you need help with that, please give us a call, text, email, whatever. Maureen and I be very happy to help you out. And if you like a quick look at what it might be like to live up here in the Treasure Valley, check out this video here. I think you might just like it.